What happens when a superstar steps into an arena where confidence means nothing and balance decides everything? No filters, no heroic soundtrack, just one decision. When Wang Yibo climbed onto a bucking ball, he wasn't performing bravery. He was testing it. What made this moment compelling was not the act itself, but the decision behind it. Before stepping into the arena, there was hesitation, visible, unedited, and unmistakably real. That pause mattered. It revealed that this was not a scripted display designed to impress, but a conscious choice made in real time. In an industry where certainty is often rehearsed and confidence is carefully packaged, uncertainty rarely survives the final cut. Yet here it was left intact. This moment reframed the narrative. The audience was not watching a star execute a task. They were watching a person weigh risk, expectation, and self-trust. Choosing to proceed did not guarantee success, nor did it promise applause. It simply meant accepting the experience as it was, without controlling the outcome. That distinction is crucial. Performance aims for effect. Choice accepts consequence. By stepping forward without the safety of a manufactured persona, Wang Yibo shifted the focus from appearance to intention. The arena became symbolic, not a place to prove superiority, but a space to confront one's own limits. Audiences recognized this instinctively. They did not respond to spectacle, they responded to sincerity. Because at its core, this was not about doing something extraordinary. It was about choosing honesty over display. Courage is often misunderstood as the absence of fear. Yet what resonated most in this moment was not fearlessness, but its opposite. Nervousness was present. Tension was visible. Control had to be learned on the spot. And that is precisely why the courage felt human. There was no dramatic framing, no exaggerated confidence. Instead, viewers witnessed concentration, restraint, and respect for the challenge. This form of courage did not demand attention. It earned it quietly. It acknowledged vulnerability without allowing it to dominate the outcome. For many viewers, this was deeply relatable. Courage, in real life, rarely arrives fully formed. It usually emerges while doubt is still present. Seeing that truth reflected on screen created a subtle but powerful connection. It reassured audiences that bravery does not require perfection, only presence. This authenticity redefined strength. Strength was not shown through domination or triumph, but through composure under uncertainty, through staying with the moment rather than escaping it, through accepting that discomfort is part of growth. That is why the scene lingered emotionally. It mirrored how people face challenges in their own lives. Hesitant, imperfect, but willing. In showing courage as something grounded and attainable, the moment transcended entertainment and became quietly affirming. The speed at which this moment traveled across platforms was not driven by shock value, but by recognition. People shared it because it felt genuine. In a digital landscape crowded with heightened reactions and calculated drama, sincerity stands out precisely because it is rare. What audiences recognized was not the difficulty of the challenge, but the integrity of the attempt. The clip did not rely on suspenseful editing or dramatic framing. Instead, it allowed the moment to unfold naturally. This gave viewers space to project their own emotions onto it. Curiosity, concern, relief. Sharing became an act of identification rather than promotion. Viewers were not saying, "Look how impressive this is," but rather, "This feels real." That distinction matters. Content spreads most effectively when it carries emotional truth rather than spectacle. Fan responses followed a similar pattern. Nicknames and discussions emerged not to exaggerate heroism, but to celebrate character. The focus shifted from outcome to attitude, from success to sincerity. In this way, the moment evolved beyond a single clip. It became a small but meaningful reference point. An example of choosing effort over appearance. That is why it endured. Because people do not share what merely entertains them. They share what reflects something they recognize in themselves. Viewed in isolation, the arena was simply a setting. But within a broader context, it represented something larger. Continuity of mindset. This was not an isolated display, but part of a consistent pattern. A preference for experiences that demand commitment, patience, and discipline. What stands out is not variety, but coherence. Across different challenges, the same approach appears. Preparation, respect for process, and acceptance of difficulty. There is no urgency to simplify, no attempt to bypass effort. Instead, value is placed on doing things properly, even when that requires more time or discomfort. This consistency reshapes how the moment is interpreted. It moves from novelty to philosophy. The arena becomes symbolic of a personal approach to work and life, one that prioritizes meaning over ease. For audiences, this adds depth. It suggests intention rather than impulse, growth rather than momentary thrill. In a culture that often rewards shortcuts and instant results, this attitude feels increasingly uncommon. By situating the moment within a larger journey, viewers are invited to see it not as a highlight, but as a chapter. And chapters matter because they imply continuity. A story still being written, guided by principles rather than performance. Inspiration did not come from the challenge itself, but from its emotional transparency. Viewers were not invited to admire from a distance. They were invited to reflect inwardly. The question was never, could I do this? But rather, how do I face my own difficult moments? That shift is what made the content resonate beyond fandom. The situation became metaphorical. The arena represented any moment where hesitation meets responsibility, where retreat is easier, but engagement feels more honest. Many viewers recognize themselves in that pause before action, in the quiet decision to proceed despite uncertainty. This recognition transformed observation into empathy. It made the experience personal. Importantly, the inspiration was gentle, not forceful. There was no message being imposed, no lesson being declared. Instead, meaning emerged naturally, allowing viewers to draw their own conclusions. This form of inspiration is lasting because it respects the audience. It does not instruct, it mirrors. And when people see their own struggles reflected with dignity, they feel understood rather than persuaded. That is why the moment stayed with them, not because it demanded admiration, but because it offered reassurance that moving forward imperfectly is still moving forward. This wasn't a story about risk or spectacle. It was about presence, respect for the challenge, and the courage to begin without certainty. And that's why it stayed with people long after the clip ended. If you enjoy stories that go beyond headlines and reveal the human side of stardom, subscribe to StarWatch now, give this video a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, for supporting the channel, and for being part of our growing community. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next story.